this is Michelle from Pink and Maine. Thanks so much for joining us today for the Stampin' Scrapbook Expo event. We're going to be making some cards today, just some fun, random, different themed cards, because I want to use some of this. And you say, what is this? Maybe you have this at home in your craft room as well. I call this my bag of good intentions. These are all of my parts and pieces, my stamps that got colored and cut out, but never made it to the card. You know, sometimes you just get overwhelmed, and we have all these good intentions to make cards with all of our stamp sets and our dies. I even have word dies in here cut out, just slid inside. So today I'm going to use some items from my stash of good intentions. So for our first card, we're just going to make a quick and simple happy birthday card. And this was the piece that was in my stash that I hadn't used for anything. I had stamped out, this is from our special gift stamp set, and it gives a nice background of all these little presents or gifts. And I colored them. I had even die cut it as a panel for a card base and just never got around to using it. So we're going to layer it with a scallop rectangle from our scallop rectangle dies, give it a nice little pop with that black scalloped edge off this really bright colored card base, which is A2, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 folded. I've cut out 2 little strips of paper to put down the side. Now, another thing that you're going to see throughout our cards today is I'm focusing on using our new specialty papers. We just came out with a bunch of gorgeous glitter papers in 6x6 paper packs, as well as gold and silver foil and 2 sets of holographic 6x6 paper packs. And boy, you've got to see those in person to really get the feel for how gorgeous they are. Here is a piece of holographic from one of those sets, and I know the video just doesn't do it justice to how pretty and shiny it is in person. So I've cut a stitch circle and a scallop circle, and on my stitch circle I've stamped happy birthday to you, and that's from our Spotlight Sayings set 1 stamp set, and they're all perfect sentiments that fit within like a 1 3/4 to 2 inch circle or square. They fit really nice. So we're just going to glue all this together, and like I said, we're going to have a quick and simple birthday card. I always get asked what adhesive I use to make my cards. I am in love with our Easy Squeeze craft glue. So this is just basic white craft glue. You can use it for all of your paper crafting, your card making. It dries clear, it's a permanent bond. It's easy to use the bottle, and that was the most important thing to me. It's so easy to squeeze. You can get a very fine line of glue out, or if you squeeze a little harder, you can get a little thicker. But with liquid glue, a little bit goes a long way, and you really only need a very thin amount to adhere your papers together, and you won't get that buckling of the paper when you do that. There's that. Doesn't that holographic paper just make that sentiment pop off of there? So here's our card, quick and simple birthday card, but I think I'm going to add some glitter enamel dots. These are from our all occasion glitter enamel dots. They're pretty and sparkly, and they'll add just the right finishing touch. And there we have our first card. I'm very excited. I used a piece from my Good Intentions bag. For our next card, I had a couple of pieces from this card laying around. I have this adorable toucan bird that I had colored and cut out. I had this pink background die piece. This is our beaded curtain cover die. So it's the same size as an A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And it's a really fun design with geometric, just the circles there. So I thought it would be fun to put it behind this super sparkly silver glitter paper from our metallics glitter paper collection. The great thing about our glitter paper is this glitter does not shed, it does not flake off, and it die cuts beautifully, so easily, so easily. So I have a top folding A2 size card, and I'm just going to adhere the glitter paper to the front. So for the design of the card, I wanted this green piece behind the beaded curtain panel to break up the glitter background a little bit, but to also give my toucan a place to anchor to the card or to sit against instead of just floating on the busy background. And now we'll adhere the beaded curtain die piece. And this is where the fine tip of our glue bottle is perfect for getting around these thin die cut pieces. Now we have our card base glued together. So I needed a little spotlight space for our toucan to sit on, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun to layer some circles in the colors that are part of his beak, just to bring in those colors to the card to add a more colorful look to it. So I also brought in some of the black by using the black glitter paper, which is super pretty. And then I just layered with pink, orange, and yellow, which are part of his beak. So I'm going to glue these together first and then adhere them to the card. So now we have our spotlight for our toucan to sit. And last but not least, I stamped from the Toucan Do It stamp set this sentiment, Toucan Do It. And here's our card. I think they came out super cute. For our next card, we're going to make a shaker card. I always like to throw a shaker card in there somewhere. They're just so much fun. So I had these narwhals from our narwhal stamp set, colored and cut out, and I thought they need to get put on a card. They're too stinking cute to stay in that good intentions bag. So the first thing we're going to do for our shaker card is we're going to make this frame. So I've cut out with our reverse scallop rectangle die, I've cut this frame out of our silver foil paper from our foil paper pack. Now, one thing I love about our silver and gold foil papers, they're a nice, thick, sturdy cardstock, so they're not a flimsy paper, but also they're not a super mirror shine. I like that they kind of look like brushed metal or like a brushed nickel finish for this silver, like you would have in your home. Not that bright, shiny mirror silver. So it just adds a really pretty, elegant, kind of fancy touch. So behind the frame, I have glued a piece of clear acetate. I've just cut it to the size and glued it on the back. And you can use package inserts or anything clear that you have on hand. I've even made shaker cards with a vellum piece because the vellum was see-through enough that you could see the pretty shaker pieces behind it, but without being perfectly clear. What I did on the back of the frame is I've added foam adhesive all the way around. So I have my foam adhesive already adhered to the back of my frame. You want to make sure when you put your foam adhesive around that you completely connect all the foam together so you don't have any holes where your little sequins or glitter or whatever you put in your shaker card is going to shake through and come out. And then I have a piece of this beautiful blue glitter paper. I'm telling you, the video probably does not do it justice. It is gorgeous, and I'm going to glue this down to the card base. And there we go. I love using liquid glue on cards as well because you have a few seconds to shimmy your piece into place before it permanently adheres. Also, from the silver foil, I've cut out one of our stitched hearts. So I'm going to adhere that down in the center. There we go. Now I want my narwhals to kind of hover around the edges of my heart, but I'm going to put them on top of the shaker frame, so they're actually on top of the card. But the other thing I'm going to add to the inside is the sentiment. So I'm going to just put them there so I can see where I want to add my sentiment. Now we're ready to add our shaker pieces and then put our frame on the top. So I'm using just this bottle of, it's like super chunky glitter. You can use sequins or whatever else you'd like in your shaker card. So I'll keep these pieces just in the center of the card, and I'm going to remove the backing off my foam adhesive so that I can stick our frame down. Oh, and look at all that glitter, chunky glitter shaking around in there. That is really pretty on top of the blue glitter paper. And now we're going to adhere our narwhals to the outside of the card. And here is our super sparkly narwhal shaker card. I think that's really cute. Our next card is a Slimline card. So I have my Slimline card base already cut and folded. So I make my Slimline cards when they're folded 8.5 by 3.5 inches. And all of our Slimline dies at Pink & Main are made to fit that dimension of a Slimline card. They are proportionate, so they would fit nicely on a 9x4 Slimline card, but you'll just have more of a border around the outside. I've cut this scallop piece to layer on our card base, this really pretty teal paper, and I've used our Sympathy Slimline dies, have this pretty scallop die as part of that set, and it has a nice stitching finished on the inside of the scallop there. So I'm going to glue this down to our card base. And there's our card base. So to highlight our characters on this card, I've cut out 3 circles from this really pretty pink glitter paper. This is in our spring glitter paper pack. And I've cut out another holographic scallop circle. I love that and how it looks so pretty behind the glitter. So we're going to glue these down to our card base. Now we have our super sparkly card base ready. So in my bag of good intentions, I found these really cute pieces from our Mermazing Coffee stamp set. And I've cut them out with the coordinating dies. I had already colored and cut them out, so that was convenient. They're just ready to be put on a card. All I had to do was stamp the sentiment, and then I layered the sentiment with that holographic paper just to make it pop off the card. So it says, always be mermazing. And then in parentheses, it's got coffee helps. So for the coffee lover in you. So I just have to decide how I'm going to place these on the card. I know I want to highlight the mermaid herself in the center. Maybe we'll put that adorable coffee mug at the top. You see the handle is a mermaid tail. Isn't that adorable? And then we have the mermaid, and she's sitting on a coffee cup there. That's really cute. We'll add that to the bottom. And then I think pop her up just a little bit so I can put the sentiment down here. Always be, or maybe the sentiment should go at the top. Yes, I like that. We'll put the sentiment towards the top here. And then we'll add the little coffee helps down this way. So it just brings your eye all around the card. And the stamp set has this adorable miniature image of the mermaid on the coffee cup. And I think I'm gonna stick that in on the inside, and then you can write your little message. But I thought that was too cute not to use it. And here's our Always Be Mermazing card. Isn't that adorable and sparkly? I did decide to put the coffee mug here in the center just to separate the two mermaids a little bit. And I added that adorable little mug to the back so I can sign the back of my card, and I've got that cute little mermaid mug on the back as well. For our last card, these three pieces that I'm holding in my hand were in my Good Intentions bag. I had this die cut panel. This is our floral cover die. And what I did was I just ink blended a sheet of cardstock with just these different colors. And then I just die cut this piece out. So it's got this nice ombre look with these rainbow colors. It's really pretty. I also had our thanks die cut out, pre-cut in this white cardstock. I thought that would work. And I happened to find the sentiment strip. This is one of our sentiment strip dies, the 1/4 inch one, and it already had this sentiment on it, thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I thought that worked well with our thanks die and our floral cover, and I thought it would look gorgeous on the white cardstock. And you can find the white cardstock in our metallic set. And like before, I think the video just does not do it justice. This is a gorgeous white glitter. It's iridescent, so it has hints of other colors, and it's just super sparkly and pretty. It'd be beautiful for winter also, for like snow backgrounds. Really pretty. So I'm going to adhere that down to my A2 size card. And now we'll adhere the die cut piece. It fits perfectly on an A2 size card, and it makes a really quick and simple card to put together. One thing you can do is to flip your card over with a large piece like this and just press it against your surface to help you adhere all those small parts there. And that is just beautiful on its own. Now I'm just going to glue down the thanks and the other part of the sentiment. One thing I didn't mention about our glue is that you don't have to worry about the freezing issue with some other glues. If our glue does freeze, if it's shipped in the winter, You just let it thaw out and it's good to go, just like new. Doesn't affect it. And there you have this one gorgeous and sparkly thank you card. Thanks so much again for joining us today. I hope that you've enjoyed these cards I created and that they inspire you to go into your good intentions stash and pull out some of those stamps and die cuts that just never made it onto your projects. You can find all of these items and more at pinkandmain.com. And until next time, keep living the creative life.